Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बू फलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजं सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जंगमं व्याप्तं यत्किंचित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्वमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्
Vasudevasudam.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Advayanand ji chants this, that's it.
Hari Om. Thank you, Manisha. Hari Om to all. So, we are doing the 13th chapter summary, where we have to do little more manan. After the class, we have to do some discussion. If there are any questions, we have to write it down. So let us summarize what happened in the last session. So the name of the chapter is Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga. Distinction between the field and the knower of the field. So here itself the topic becomes very interesting, that we have to distinguish something and we have to separate something. If we see, we have been separating a lot of things. I still remember when I was small, mother used to sometimes give me the plate of rice, and that time, there were some stones used to be there. So that is one kind of separation, physical separation, very easy. But after that also, if after I used to do, again she used to check whether it is appropriately done. So that is at the physical level also, we have to separate a lot of things to be successful. Then when it comes to separating milk and water, then again we have to boil it and then distill it. Then only we can see milk there and the water there. This becomes a difficult kind of challenge here, and that's the reason we have a Bhagavad Gita chapter dedicated to Vibhag Yoga, that our intellect must be able to distinguish, must be able to separate two things. Why we have to separate? Because two things have got mixed up. And how they have got mixed up? Superimposition. So that is why it is very difficult to separate. Because superimposition means instead of two, only one is seen. Now, what is that? These are the two things: the knower of the field and the field. What is the cause of this mix-up? Ignorance. And what is the effect of this? What we are experiencing in day-to-day life is limitations, because one of the definition we have seen earlier of any suffering, any problem, any sorrow is equal to only one word: some kind of limitation I am experiencing in life, which we cannot deny. Financial limitation, physical limitation, position limitation, movement limitation, some limitation I experience, and that leads to that is called as sorrow or suffering or problem. So now here, till now it becomes clear to us. But now Bhagavan says in the first verse, what we saw last time, is that idam shariram kaunteya kshetra mithya vidhiyate. Now the field, Bhagavan is saying, is the body. Okay, very clear, no problem. My field is my body. Now Bhagavan is also not saying that the field is the world. Bhagavan starts with saying that body is the field. That means body is the known. And etadyo vettitum prahum. Please note that the knower of this body is called a Kshetrajna. So we got two things. Now we have to pay attention how we are going to analyze this, because Bhagavan has said that the body is the field and the knower of the body is the Kshetrajna. Body is the Kshetra and the knower of the body is the Kshetrajna. So there is a known, that is the body, and the knower of the body. Very simple, Bhagavan. Why you are saying it is that difficult? But now the process starts. The moment I say that the body is the field, the body is the Kshetra, and I am the knower of the body, then last time we saw 6 laws of knower and known that I must go through. There are 6 laws we saw of knower and known. We must see that what is the distinction between the knower and the known. And one of the distinction what we are going to take for analysis is that the knower is different than the known. Later on in advanced text, all these things are proven that how it is different. Then the known cannot know the knower. The knower is one, known is many, etc., etc. But one thing, what we saw, one of the law, which is very important, where Bhagavan wants to separate, is the knower has to be different than the known. So body is the Kshetra and the knower of the body is the Kshetrajna. So now taking this two things, one is the law, that is the knower and the known has to be different. And now taking the first verse or the second verse here of the Bhagavad Gita, as we saw, the first verse was added by Madhusudan Saraswati ji, where Arjuna has asked a question that what is the distinction between Kshetra, Kshetrajna, what is the distinction between Jnana and Neyam, known and what is to be known, and Purusha and Prakriti, that we are going to see these four things. But when we are able to distinguish between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, all other thing becomes very easy. So now applying this, let us do Manan on this. That's the reason we mentioned last time that Adi Shankaracharya, on his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, here we find the largest commentary, lot of analysis, lot of logic, very interesting implications of this. So implications becomes huge, and then we can transcend suffering and sorrow this moment. All my problems, many problems, one solution given here. Because the moment Bhagavan says that idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate, means body is the field, body is the known. And the knower of the body is called a kshetrajna. That means the knower of the body has to be different. So definitely we come to Siddhanta that body is not me. This only when we come to Vedanta we come to know. Till we come to Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta knowledge, people say, what did you get in Bhagavad Gita? Our immediate sentence must be what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita in all scriptures is that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, and my real nature is Satchitananda. That is what Bhagavan is taking entire chapter to elaborate on it. So now let us analyze this. So let us take a deep breath and analyze this, and this analysis becomes our meditation. So right now I am sitting here and watching the laptop or mobile phone, or there is a wall in front of us, or there is a chair on which I am sitting, there is a sofa in the side, there is a bag here. So that becomes the Kshetra, because now Bhagavan has said the Kshetra is the known. But before we come to the body, let us go to outside Kshetra. So this all becomes Kshetra. But now when Bhagavan says that knower is the Kshetra, now who is knowing this body? The senses are knowing the world. So step number one, world of situation, object and people. That is observed, that is known by the senses. So senses become the Kshetrajna and the world becomes the Kshetra, that is the field. So let us take only one for understanding. So let us take eyes, E-Y-E-S. Eyes are the knower and the world is the known. And these two are different. That is very easy. I definitely know that I am not the laptop. I am definitely clear that I am not the mobile phone on which I am listening and seeing this. That much clarity I have. That senses are different than the world of object, situation, people. Number one. But whatever is happening in the eyes, that is known by the mind. See, the implication of this is huge. Because I know that I cannot see properly, my eyes are getting irritated, my eyes are watering, my eyes have become red, or there is some kind of thing has gone in the eyes. Who knows? Because the knower cannot know itself. There has to be two things to know. We saw earlier how the knowledge happens. There has to be three things: the knower, the known, and the knowing means. So there has to be a medium, there has to be means, and there has to be two things for any knowledge to happen. So the senses are the Kshetra, knower of the world, and the mind is the knower of the senses. Now till now it becomes clear. Now who is the knower of the mind? I suddenly feel happy, I suddenly feel bored, I feel frustrated, I feel angry, I feel guilty, I feel irritated. I feel fearful, I feel joyous, I feel peaceful. All this belongs to the mind and I know it. I know that I was angry earlier, but now I am peaceful. So that is known by the intellect. Subtler than the mind is the intellect. And who knows the intellect? I know that I have a lot of ideas, I have a lot of concepts, I take a decision, I understand, I do not understand, etc. etc. Who knows it? No, I understood that I understood. So there has to be knower of that. So now we see the implication of that Kshetra Khetrajna. So I know it. So till now there is no problem. So I am the knower of my own intellect. I am the knower of my own mind. I am the knower of my own senses. I am the knower of the world. So this we have to hold on in the second verse of 13th chapter, because third verse when it comes, there is one googly what Bhagwan is going to put. But this must be clear to me, and for this I do not require any scriptures to know. I can just sit, close my eyes and understand. Yes, my eyes can see the laptop, so I am not the laptop. I can know what is happening in my eyes, so the mind is the knower and the eyes are the known. Then I can know my emotions, so I am not the emotions. I can know my thoughts, ideas, concepts, my understanding, my knowledge. I can also know my ignorance. I can also know presence of something. I can also know absence of something in the deep sleep. So I am the knower. Now the question is, who is this I? That is where the spiritual conquest begins. So body, mind, intellect is the kshetra. So what a relief. This moment, if I am not only hearing, not only listening, as J.K. Krishnamurti says that when I am there with the speaker and the words are coming, it creates transformation, because I am not the body. All problems belonging to body are not mine. I am having a body. That is an important statement now, replaces of I am having the body. I am the body to I am having the body. All the problems of the mind, depression, I am not the mind. So depression also is not mine. Frustration is not mine. Sorrow is not mine. Suffering is not mine, because that is kshetra. One says the knower of this is kshetrajna, and I am the knower. I know I have so many thoughts going on, 60, 70,000 thoughts per day goes through our mind. I can know it. So knower is separate than the known, and that is the Vibhaga one Lord just wants to do. Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga. Separate. So from today, our Siddhanta will be that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. I am having a body, I am having a mind, and I am having an intellect. Like I am having a mobile phone, I am having a house, I am having furniture, and I take care of the mobile phone. I take care of my house, I keep it clean. I take care of mobile phone so much because I have to charge every night, but I don't charge my body, I don't charge my mind, I don't charge my intellect. Every day, every few hours, we have to charge. Similarly, once I know that I am having it, I have to take care of it. But I am not it, because all the problems of the mobile phone, I take to a mobile repairer and give him, because though it is mine, but it is not me. So the distinction is coming between what is mine and what is me. So this is a very interesting distinction where my all problems are gone, but one problem remains, that who am I? That will be sorted out in the next verse. So I am the knower of the body, mind, intellect, memory. Memory also is not mine, because that belongs to Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory. So sometime I must sit and say, okay, as we come home from a long journey, take out all the clothes which have become dirty or wet, and take out, and then we keep out all the mobile phone, all the ornaments, whatever small we are wearing, and then just sit quietly, because now I am in my own swarup. So now we have to start some internal process. I have to keep body outside, mind outside, intellect outside, memory outside, by thinking that I've kept on the table, and then sit. So because this is the way I have to separate. So I am different than the body mind. and I am having it. This must be our mantra from today. I am unattached to the body, mind, characteristics and happening. So definitely if I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect, then what is happening outside in the world, definitely that is not me. Till we do not have this knowledge, I get affected very easily. I get disturbed very easily. I get related very easily. I get attached very easily. How do we get disturbed and attached? No, I am a woman, I am a man. And then the fighting starts about gender superiority. Women are better, men are better. Then I'm tall, I'm short, I'm slim, I'm stout, I'm young, I old now. Now I become old. Now I have become old. Now that has to be replaced. That this body is become old because this has its process that it will exist, it will take birth, it will grow, it will decay, it will mature, and it will go in the five elements. Then I am male, female. This is where the whole problem happens. The moment I withdraw myself from the body, there is no gender. I'm dark, I'm fair, there is pain, pleasure in the body. Sensations are in the body. So all these things I have to take a moment and withdraw myself that, oh, this I'm having it. For my own enjoyment, world, God has given me this body to enjoy his universe. So enjoy it. But I'm not it. Just because I enjoy something, I don't open a shop. I enjoy filter coffee, but I don't open a filter coffee shop. Mind, I'm not the mind. So mind is constantly happy, sad, angry, peaceful, kind, cruel, ideas, opinions, ignorance, knowledge, bondage, liberation, waking, dream, sleep state of the mind. So mind goes to sleep. The body doesn't go to sleep. Body to lot of work happens in the sleep because I have eaten lot of food in the night. Who will digest? The body is digesting at night. The brain is working overtime. The liver is working overtime. The kidneys are working overtime. Stomach is working super overtime. Blood is circulating. Heart is beating. Body doesn't go to sleep. The mind go to sleep because mind gets exhausted whole day. Different kinds of emotion, different kind of even mind says, God has given one kind of thing. Okay, for some time you can take a break from your mind. Very important. When we take a break from the mind, there is peace and we love it. Intellect, I am intelligent, I am intelligent, I don't understand, I understand, I am confused, I am clear, I am very knowledgeable, I am very ignorant. No, I am a bhakti yogi, I am a jnana yogi, I am a hatha yogi, I don't like this, I don't like this, this is my idea. All ideas belong to intellect and that is not me. Ideas come and go. Tomorrow I can change my idea, tomorrow I can change my opinion about anything. But that is not me. Very important. So distinguishing between this takes a lot of time because I am so attached to my opinion. My opinion is Brahma Vakya. Whatever I say, whatever I think, it is the ultimate truth. Bhagavan says here later on that this is my opinion. I also must say this is my opinion. It can change. And then memories of life. The moment we ask the person, how are you? The person will start from school days, then college days, and then marriage, then children, then problems, and then this and that. And then my story starts because my life memories. And then most important comes at the core is that what is my self-image. So in Vedanta, when we come, Bhagavad Gita, if somebody asks, what did you get? One person asks, Buddha, after he got enlightened, what did you gained? He told, I gained nothing, but I lost a lot of things. So now the journey is about losing whatever we have acquired as a false superimposition, believing that I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect, I am this memory. So in one stroke, and this is where Adi Shankaracharya comes and gives his beautiful definition where we can see the implication of when Bhagavan says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya. Body is the field and you are the knower. Practice. What is a practice? I must say, this is a very interesting practice. Spiritual sadhaks must start, and this is where spirituality starts. Where am I sitting? I am sitting in the body, I am sitting in the mind, I am sitting in the intellect, or whether I am sitting in the memory. All these things are happening in these four, but where am I sitting and operating? And Bhagavan says that separate. You are not sitting in all four. Just separate and then just say relaxed in your own swarup, and peace and joy and bliss will start coming. Second, very important practice I must start from today. Very important practice according to me. This is where, as Gurudev says, introspect daily. A spiritual sadhak basically is more bothered about what is happening inside than what is happening outside. There is something world outside and there is a world of happening inside only. When I had gone to Siddhavari, Gurudev has said that moment you get interested in the inside world of yours, outside world becomes uninteresting, because a spiritual sadhak is not very much interested in what is happening outside, but what is the reaction of came from me about what is happening outside. I am more concerned about how did I react in that situation? How did I react to that person? The stimuli came from outside, but what was my response? What was my reaction? What was my thought? If I am not catching it, if I am not ready to change, if I am not bothered about this, no, I am not bothered about my reaction. I am bothered about what is happening outside. No, then we will not be able to separate all these things, because this separation requires sukshma buddhi. And it requires clear knowledge that what to be separated from what. Objects has to be separated from senses. Senses are to be separated from the mind. Mind is to be separated from the intellect. Intellect to be separated from I. So I am different than this. And from today, I will be paying attention to what is happening inside me when some stimuli situation is happening outside. If this is not understood, then definitely yesterday we saw one team won, and we are so proud. But at the same time, the other team lost. But that is a game. And to handle there and play for so long and then be there and losing or winning in the final, it takes lot of pressure, lot of stamina. And this is what we can learn sitting here, that people who do suicide also after one match is lost, or so much of excitement happens, in the same level the depression will happen if I am not getting something from outside. So definitely there has to be joy and excitement, but at the same time I must now ask you, what happened to me inside when India won? What was my reaction? What was my thought process? What was my feeling process? And how the identification happens. And once I start getting this identification examples with the country, we are taking in Pramana Vichar, those who are attending, we are going to take this. When yesterday the match happened, I would say I won, we won. And then we will say India won. Actually, those 11 people played for India who won, but then how the identification happens. This is a very interesting example. When we start applying this to the deeper spiritual principles, something emerges there. So this is the practice I can start with this idam shariram kaunteya. That body is the field, but I am the knower of the body. Meditation. What is a meditation I have to do? What is my reactions to stimuli? And once I see that, okay, the body is, right now I'm seeing the laptop, the eyes are seeing the laptop. Then the mind is observing the senses. Then whatever is collected from the outside world through the senses, the intellect is coming and discerning whether it is right, wrong, I am liking it, not liking it. So mind works whether I am liking it or not liking it. And the intellect comes whether it is right or wrong. What I've heard earlier from the memory, whether it is compared to what this Swamiji told, that Swamiji told, I have heard this, all these things, I know all these things. So that the memory is telling. And then once I cross that, then one very important factor of meditation comes, that observe the observer. Because now Bhagavan has told, now we go to more subtler aspect of this 13th chapter, Kshetra Khetrajna Yoga. But now I say that I can observe the object, I can observe my breath, I can observe my emotions, I can observe my thoughts, I can observe. So let's start observing the observer, that who am this I? Who am I who is observing, who is knowing, who is the Pramata, who is the knower, who is the Kshetrajna? Who am I? So now verse 3, this is a Mahavakya, this is a main verse of 13th chapter. If I understand this, we are going to see one Gurudev's video also, where Gurudev says that once I understand this, all other further thing in the chapter, he says it's a bluff, or it's a repetition of this. So this I have to pay attention. Now I have some choices before we go. Now the main question what we are going to ask is that, okay, Bhagwan, till now it is very clear to me, body is the field, Kshetrajna, and I am the Kshetra. Body is the Kshetra and I am the Kshetrajna, knower of the body. I am very clear, I have understood this. So now I have multiple choice questions before we go. I am the body. No, I know I am not the body, but I am a transmigratory jiva, because we all knowingly, unknowingly believe that I will go to another body and take another birth. So another belief what I have is that I am a transmigrating jiva. And the third option is I am Atma, Satchidananda Swarup. So there are three options I have. Multiple choice questions. I am body, mind, intellect. I am that is called as a transacting self. I like this three T's I have to remember. When we come, before we come to Vedanta, I think I am only one person. Now here there are three I's. I, not EYES. Transacting self, that is the body, mind, intellect, which transacts with the world. The transmigrating self, that is the self which goes from one body to another body, that is that I notion, ego, jivatma. And the third I is the real I. That is what Bhagavan says here in the third verse, that I am Satchidananda Swarup. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atma, and the nature of that is Satchidananda. So now there are three we got. In the first two, we have got distinction. We have separated. Okay, I have understood. Bhagavan has said body is the knower, body, mind, intellect, and you are the Kshetrajna. Now we come to the two eyes. Now this is where the topic is the most subtlest and I have to catch it. Now Bhagavan says suddenly here, which is a jolt, and suppose this I do in isolation without preparation, without knowing the laws, then this becomes a challenging thing to accept, because Bhagavan suddenly comes here and says and puts a googly. It's called as a googly, Yesterday we saw bowling, batting, deceptive thing. Suddenly I don't understand what Bhagavan is saying. Bhagavan suddenly says, earlier he said that Shariram idam kaunteya. Field is the body and the knower of the field is Sektadara. Now till it is clear. Now Bhagavan says, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharasa. Now this verse, half part, is Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya has given a lot and lot of commentary. Because now suddenly Bhagavan comes and says that I am the Kshetrajna. And not only of this body, of all bodies. Now here is where we are going to analyze. Not Siddhanta number 1. So we have to remember the earlier verse and this verse goes together. Earlier Bhagavan said field is the body and the knower of the field is the Kshetrajna. Kshetra is the body and Kshetrajna is the knower of the field. Now suddenly Bhagavan comes and says, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the Kshetrajna. The moment Bhagavan says, I am the Kshetrajna in this body, means my body, and not only my body, all bodies, then there will be hundreds of questions. So let us see what will be the questions and analyze it systematically. Because suddenly now Bhagavan is saying is that I am the Kshetrajna. So where am I? Where am I? Where will I go? So we will see this questions and the confusions, and then we'll have the answers to this. And this I have to pay attention. If I have some questions, I have to write down and immediately discuss. So Bhagavan says, I am the knower. Singular is saying, not many, huh? Of the field in all fields. Now he is saying, I am the Kshetrajna. So now earlier when we discussed, I am the knower of the body, I understood. Now Bhagavan is saying that I am also the knower. So there must be two knowers, but Bhagavan here is using singular knower. I am the knower of the field, that is the body and all fields. So I am the Kshetrajna. Api, also. So now here Api means not there are two Kshetrajna. I am Kshetrajna and I am Kshetra also. Bhagavan, I have no problem if you say you are the Kshetra. I have a problem when you say you are the Kshetranya, because then who am I? You are in all Kshetra is okay with me. Bhagavan kan mein hai. Every particle is having Bhagavan. That is okay with me. That we say, all God is pervading everywhere. But when you say that I am the knower, then where am I going? So now we will see what this verse means and how this verse is been analyzed. If you are the knower of the field, then who am I? And definitely I cannot be you, because I cannot know all the bodies. I can right now only know what is happening in my body, and that also till the heart attack comes, I do not know how much blood pressure is there, how much cholesterol is there. Suddenly the person gets heart attack and say, "Arey, I didn't know only what is happening in my body." So you are saying that you are the knower of all bodies, including my body. If then you are the knower of all fields, then who am I? Are there two Kshetrajnas? Or first of all, is there only one knower of all the bodies? If you say that you are the knower, then you become the Jiva like me. I am you only. You become Samsari, one who goes from one body to another body, transmigratory problems, and you become Jiva. If you say you are me, because right now I have so many problems, Bhagavan, in one breath, I can say these two sentences. Yeah, I know I am God. Yeah, I know my real nature is Atma. I know, my real nature is Satchitananda Swarum Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. But I have lot of problems. This only I can say. How can Brahman, Atman, God have problems? And if I am you, if you are saying there is you, are that notion, I notion that Kshetrajna knower is me only, then why are you telling me to study, give all these 36 qualities, all these 18 chapters, and then liberate? Because I'm already liberated. Bhagwan, I clearly know at this point of time that I am unhappy person. I have so many problems. I am so attached to my body, my mind, my intellect, my memory. Not only that, I am attached to so many relationships outside, so many situations outside, so many objects outside. How can you suddenly say, Kshetrajnam Chapimam Vidhi, that I am the knower? I know at the intellectual level I am Brahman, but still I am unhappy. How can it be? Now that's the reason this third verse is a very interesting verse. And I have to analyze it correctly when Bhagavan says that I am the knower in your body and I am the knower in all bodies. Either there must be absence of Jiva or absence of Ishvara. There cannot be two Bhagavan. Definitely there is a difference between Jiva and Ishvara. I am the Jiva, you are the Ishvara. Now suddenly you are telling that I am you only. Now we have to remember that Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapter, who am I? What is my real identity? My name is this, my profession is this, my occupation is, but who am I? That is told in the first 6. Second chapter, what is being told is who is God. And the third section, that is from 7 to 12, who is God, which we completed 2 sessions back. Now the 13th chapter is a third section of Bhagavad Gita, what is started, and that is a connection with the God. What is my relationship with the God? What is my communication with God? And that is what Bhagavan comes and says in the third verse itself, that I am you. But I have a problem to understand this. I cannot accept this, that I am the knower, because I cannot feel it. So either you are there or I am there. There cannot be two. So now we have to analyze on this. How can there be two Kshetranya? Now we have to take one example to understand what Bhagavan is saying. So let us take one example to understand that there are two Kshetranyas, but they are different. And what is one Kshetranya called, and there are what is the second Kshetranya called, is called. But both are same, and right now I am not feeling it because of certain reasons that we will see. But right now let us analyze that how can there be two knowers. So let us take our classic example to understand that there is a sun, real sun, the star. Actually, sometimes you should do this experiment, When we learn this, it is very interesting to do this experiment also. We must go on terrace and do this. And let us take a bucket of water. And then let us go to terrace and keep that bucket of water. And the sun is at 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. The sun will reflect in that water. So now we have got following things. These example I have to write down and then ponder and ponder and ponder and ponder, because if I get this example, so many further advanced text, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra becomes very easy to understand, because suddenly they will use certain terminology and then these questions will come. So now there are four things in this experiment. One is the real sun, one is a reflection of sun, the second is a reflection of sun, the third is water, and the fourth is the bucket. So now, what Bhagavan is saying here is that I am the Kshetrajna. This reflection in the water of the sun, that is warming the water. And there is a bucket of the water which will give its shape and form and name. There's a red bucket, there's a blue bucket, there is a green bucket. Name and form will be coming with the bucket. Now the mind quality will determine about the water. So now we will have analogy. The real sun is the illuminator. I have to write down, because in English, this is one of the best or the closest we can understand this. The real sun is the illuminator. The reflected sun is the knower. The water is the mind, intellect, memory, the subtle body, and the bucket is the gross body. So the real sun is the pure consciousness, real Kshetrajna, illuminator, Drashta. Drashta it is called. Bhagavan is saying, I am that. I am illuminating. If I am not there, there will be no reflection. Now this is where I have to understand that who am I? The reflected sun is the conditioned consciousness, the I notion, the ego, the knower, the called as Pramata, called as Kshetrajna. So we can say Kshetrajna number 2 and Kshetrajna number 1. Kshetrajna number 1 is pure consciousness, and reflected sun is the reflected consciousness or conditioned consciousness by that water, and that is the I notion, and that is I what I am considering, and that is false. That is only reflection. No, I have so many problems, this problem, that problem. Who is the reflecting? Sun is having all the problems. So now we have to wear some helmet, because now Bhagavan is saying is that reflected consciousness is false entity. It is a reflected entity. It is an illusion, because if the reflected sun starts thinking that I am real consciousness, then there will be a problem. And water is the antakarana, mind, intellect. So knower and illuminator. So God is the illuminator, Jiva is the knower. I know my thoughts. I know my mind, I know my breath, I know my body, I know this world, I know this laptop. So that is the knower, that is the Pramata number 2, that is the Kshetrajna number 2, that I notion. But that I notion is created by the pure consciousness, that is the real sun. And so much drama this I is doing. So in Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta, when we come, we have a huge card, bungalow. We used to be small and make this bungalow, huge card bungalow. But there is one card, suppose we take, the entire bungalow collapses. So much drama I am doing in life about I, without knowing who is this I only. Because my entire attention is happening, because I have superimposed body, mind, intellect as I. And for some or many of us, even what I am not, that is mine. The world is mine because there is a connection with the world. This person is mine. The object is mine. This situation is mine. And now Bhagavan is saying is that there are two Kshetrajnas. One is the knower, but that is a reflected consciousness. But I am the real knower, real illuminator in you. And once the knower becomes aware of itself that I am a false entity, I am a reflected sun. Now let us take an example of this only. The reflected sun realizes that it is only a reflection. Now after this class, what I have to do is one experiment I have to do. Suppose I am not able to do this experiment. I have to immediately after this class go and stand before the mirror. Second example. Now I must say I am real Prasad. The reflection in the mirror is the reflected Prasad. So there are two Prasads. Real Prasad here, I am standing here. And in the mirror, what is coming, I can see myself, that is a reflected Prasad. And whatever I do to reflected Prasad, it will not affect me. So when we say enlightenment, or when we say nirvana, when we say moksha, when we say liberation, it is here and now. The reflected sun realizes that I am only a reflection and sees the real sun. The reflected image of Prasad in the mirrors realizes that, oh, this is only, I am on reflection of this. He is the real. And then that shift happens. Real sun is independent and not affected, attached to water bucket reflection. In the same way, Bhagavan is saying, even though I am in you, I am unaffected by your body, this world, this mind, this intellect, this breath, this memory. Reflected sun is dependent on the real sun, but real sun is not dependent on the reflected sun. And that's the reason, that is the greatest freedom. That is where I realize that my nature is pure existence, consciousness, bliss, and infinite. It is not dependent on the body. Now the water is equal to mind. When the water is clear and still, then the reflection will be complete, and that is called as samadhi. When the mind, when the body is still, Bible says, be still and know God. When the mind is silent, when there is no turbulence, when there is no movement, in that stillness of the mind, in that silence of the mind, in that stillness of the body, the reflected sun can know that I am there because of this, and the reflected sun will say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. And when the water dries up, there will be no reflection. So when there is no mind, there is no reflection, there will be pure consciousness. And that is very close to that we go in the deep sleep, because the mind, intellect, memory goes off, and then real reflection flows. Only a thought remains called as ignorance. I don't know anything, but that is so peaceful and blissful. So all our sadhana, once after I understand this, after understanding what we have to do, all our sadhana is to keep the bucket properly, that is the body, and make the mind still. Remove the turbidity. Turbidity are Shadvikars. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. And with this knowledge, I have to keep the mind still. mind silent, mind clean, pure, and the body still. Such a beautiful way of this explaining this particular example gives us very clear method. And then the reflected sun will say, oh, I can see because now the reflected sun is completely shining in the water. And the person says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. Now the problem happens is that reflection assumes that I am the real entity. And the reflected consciousness wants to liberate. What a joke. Actually, I'm already free, but I'm assuming that I'm in bondage and I want moksha. And that's the reason Bhagavan in Nirvana Shaktam says, Na bandhana moksha. What bandha are you talking? I was already liberated. Now that is from the Kshetrajna number one. Kshetrajna number one is God. Kshetrajna number one is Atma. Kshetrajna number one is Brahman. Kshetrajna number one definition is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Kshetrajna number one is Sat Chit Ananda. And Kshetrajna number two is the reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa, ego, I notion, which I say, yeah, I know my thoughts, I know my mind, I know my breath, I know my body, I know my problems, I am unhappy, I want to get liberated. That is that I notion, that is a reflected consciousness. So that is Kshetrajna number two. Knowing that I am actually real sun and not reflected sun, that is the liberation. So that's the reason in Taittiriya Upanishad says that Om Brahmavid Apnoti Param. You don't have to do any action. I have to just realize that I am not a woman, I am a man. Suppose an actor is acting, that example we have to take. An actor was acting for 30 years and of women role, and suddenly he started behaving like a woman. And he went to one doctor. Doctor just told him that you are not this woman, you are a man. And that moment, what happened? Nothing happened. The man would say, I was never a woman. I was just behaving under ignorance that I was woman. And see the tragedy that my real Swarup is so beautiful. Purity, knowledge, bliss, happiness, power, success. And that is Bhagavana. Six Bhaga means Bhagavana. And here I am crying. So there are two Kshetrajnas, knowers of the field, to conclude for today. And then this we have to reflect. Kshetrajna number one, pure consciousness. And in English, because this words created lot of confusion in my mind for many years, because in Sanskrit, when you say drashta or sakshi, it becomes observer. To observe something, there has to be two things. The sun is only an illuminator, not bothered about what is happening in the world. But without sun, no life can be there. So sun only illumines, whether good, bad. Sun also illumines darkness because there is no concept of darkness. So sun illumines everything. So this is called as an illuminator. Kshetrajna number two is conditioned consciousness, knower of BMI and the world. And that is Vritti Janya, thought. Because I am also is a thought. I am this body is a thought. I am happy is a thought. I am angry is a thought. I have a problem is a thought. I am liberated is a thought. So realization that I am the illuminator and not the knower. And that's the reason when we hear great saints, Sandili Triputi, then Janabai, who was an illiterate lady, she says, Pahata Pahane Gele Duri. Now all the three go, the knower, knowing, and the known, that belongs to reflected. That has gone, and I am remaining in my own Swarup, and not the knower of the BMI. And that is called as the liberation. So what is the process? There is that Atma Kshetrajna number one. Then it creates that I notion in the mind when it reflects. So the real sun reflects in the water. If water is not there, reflection is not there. So Atma will creates the I notion, and that I notion will know the BMI. And Kshetrajna 1, Kshetrajna 2. These two distinction is called as Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga. The knower disappears with the known, as the reflection of sun will disappear when the water dries up. And that is what Ramana Maharshi says, Mano Nasha. No, I don't want to have Mano. Every day in 24 hours, twice we have Mano Laya. Sleep. No mind, no relationships, no world, no body, no no emotions, no thoughts, no ideas, no concepts, but still I am so much happy in the sleep. And now Bhagavan says, next time we will discuss this. Kshetra Khetrajna, your jnanam, this knowledge, now very important one, yattad jnanam matam mama, this is the knowledge according to me. Still Bhagavan says, according to me, this is the real knowledge. Oh, and this is very important because for a jnana yogi, especially people who listen to lot of scriptures and study lot of scriptures, there is one big danger comes in that is the knowledge ego. I know everything. If you told we will let us discuss some small no, now I am discussing Upanishad Brahma Sutra level. This is very no, let us not discuss karma and all these virtues and why I want to know something. This becomes also big ego. So now Bhagavan says the knower disappears with the known, as the reflection of sun disappears with the disappearance of the water, and that is our sadhana. So I know that I am a reflected consciousness. Now my sadhana comes, that how to make that water pure. After knowing this also, why there is no difference. After this, the next chapter is going to come, 14th chapter. Bhagavan says, after knowing all these things, still I will behave with lot of lust, anger and depression because gunas are there. I have to overcome those gunas. So the 14th chapter is 3 moods of the mind which will come, because Bhagavan is going to say that know this, but after that you have to work only on purification of the mind and clarity of intellect. Purity of mind, clarity of intellect. So, what is the real knowledge? Distinction between the illuminator, the knower, and the world. So, as we discussed many times, the entire spiritual scriptures world over. But this clarity is so unique here. Bhagavad Gita is so unique because this is very subtle topic, and this is where we have to understand the world, I, who knows the world, and there is one more real I that we call as God, Brahman, and there are hundreds of names given. And Bhagavan here says that Chapimam, I am there, I am also there. So this distinction is the real jnanam. And why it is called as real jnanam? Because this distinction can in 1 second liberate us from 3 things. No other knowledge can liberate us from 3 things. That is shoka, moha, bhaya. That is sorrow, delusion and fear. Because the moment I identify with body, mind, intellect, there will be fear and other things. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.